Alrighty, folks, if you are not paying attention, you should be. Mortgage rates are below 6%. We are once again with a 5 handle. This is going to spark demand. This is going to bring people off the sidelines for both purchase and refinances. But don't forget, lower interest rate means lower payments, and that will have a direct impact on your cash-on-cash returns. We're back with Mike from Retometer. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. So I know you've been poking around and playing with interest rates and seeing the impact on cash-on-cash returns. What say you? What's going on?
So I was just curious as to the impact that going from, say, a 7 to a 6.5 to a 6% rate would have on the cash-on-cash return. Cash-on-cash includes taxes, insurance, other expenses also. So it's a little bit muted, but the bottom line is on a 200,000 investment or $200,000 property, it's about 1.3% per 0.5% of interest. So if you go from 6.5% down to a 6 handle, a 6.0% interest rate, you're picking up about a 1.3% on your cash-on-cash return. Nothing to sniff at, but it's not as dramatic as going from a 3 to a 6.
Right.
You're going the other way. So it's it's an improvement, and it will help out some marginal deals probably.
No, I mean, it will absolutely help out marginal deals. And if you add into this the fact that we have, really a slow market still based on the January numbers. If you continue to do what I preach, write disrespectful offers, follow up, get creative, and, oh, by the way, cost of capital is now a 0.5 point lower, deals can very quickly go from average to good and then from good to great. Right. And that's what I keep encouraging people to do, right? In my world, when I did this, an average deal was 7.5, which meant a good deal was 9. And maybe a great deal was 10 or 10.5. In this world of lower rates, it doesn't have to move very much just for the math, just for the less interest to swing that from good to great. So I think you're underselling it. I think lower rates, and let's be clear, the trend is even lower, right? It does seem to be the trend going one direction. So I think marginal deals are going to start to look better.
Yeah, and I think what's really important is kind of some of the things you talk about at your conference, and I've picked up from you is the buy box. And you set your buy box, you get to know your market, and the disrespectful offers really come into play. We don't, it's hard for us to model it that way because we don't know every market. We know the data in every market, but that's only 10% of it, right? The other 90% is the people and the dynamics, the things happening in that market. But when you combine, like a model like ours with that local expertise, that buy box knowledge, now all of a sudden, like you said, I'm going in, the property's been on market for 120 days. They're asking, 240. I'm going in at 160.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden and you put a low interest rate on that, all of a sudden that deal looks really interesting.
No, that's the magic. And again, the reason you guys keep coming back is because you do have all of the data. And again, that's stuff that my team can't go get, right? We're, at best, we're just, employees who look at the MLS. You've got all the data there for us. So we can, again, look at the entire market. We can also find different markets. A lot of investors go, where should I look? So you're kind of giving us, let us go nuts and find what area speaks to us. Yes. But yeah, once you get a buy box, it is so powerful because that's all you look at. And then you're just playing with numbers. Okay, it's listed at 240. What happens if I go 180 or 195? What happens if I get the seller to take back 10% second? What happens if I get them to buy my rate down from 6 to 5 3/4? All of these things you can play with. And that's the magic of this game. It's straightforward, but it's not easy. It takes discipline, focus, execution. That's why most people won't do it, because it takes daily execution. But man, if you want to buy great deals, I would much rather buy in a market like today with no competition versus waiting for competition to come screaming off the sidelines and suddenly we have bidding wars. I don't want to see that market again.
Right. So one of the things that again I picked up this was really emphasized again at your conference. When you're building systems, again, it's kind of a clinical exercise, objective. You want everything to work.
Hmm.
The piece that I missed was the educational component, right? So we built the yield tracker as a tool. You know, really, we built it as, hey, this is the veteran investor looking for his next deal, right?
Right. Yep.
Reality was when I was sitting there looking at all the education that's happening, I said, this is an educational tool. For a very low price, you can spend 3 months analyzing six different markets with real
Exactly.
deals and going through the gross rent yield right through the cash on cash return, and then you can take it further. And there's no added cost for picking up the phone and calling an agent and saying,
Right.
this deal's interesting. I'm probably
Tell
not
me
going to buy
more.
it,
Yep.
but let me talk to the agent. And so it really is a great icebreaker for new investors, which I'm really starting to emphasize now, because there isn't a better way to get um, the educational component at a very low cost and very comprehensive. And you can mess around with as many deals as you want and
I,
really
I
learn your buy box.
I agree with you 1000%. Because again, I deal with a lot of new investors who get the bug, get the interest, but they just don't know where to go. Turning them on to Rentometer is going to allow them to play in 5 or 6 or 7 different markets while they're figuring out their buy box, right? Very few people come to this with a buy box already known. So they're going to have to play around. They're going to have to take the metal detector. They're going to have to go to different markets that they know and figure out where it goes beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
and do that. And then at some point, they're going to say, okay, great. Columbus, Ohio. I'm just making a name up.
Yep.
And then they're going to get specific inside Columbus, Ohio. And then they're going to get even more specific. And then bingo, bango, they got a buy box and they're ready to rock and roll. But that's not an overnight thing. This idea that you came to at the event is important because so many new investors are struggling. They can't, find different MLSs and they can't find access. And they just come to Rentometer and they, pick up the old metal detector, the yield tracker, and just, go play for a little while and see what they see.
Yeah. I mean, I really am trying to figure out a way to get an educational component or version launched. We're very busy with the commercial side of it, with the real people, but the real investors. But I think there's something there because again, once you're in the system,
Yeah.
go crazy, try it,
Yeah.
try everything.
Go nuts.
It's real data, it's real analysis, and you can really learn a lot.
Yeah, well, you've talked about my event a couple of times. I'd love to hear from your perspective. As somebody in the real estate game, you go to all kinds of conferences, both the kind of institutional, both the, bigger pockets like with big names, and then, you come to smaller events like mine. I'm curious, what's some feedback, thoughts, experience? What do you got?
Yeah, first of all, it was a great event, and thank you for having us and the chance to actually share some things. Um, I don't know if we resolved whether the name is Rentometer or Rentometer, but yeah, I have been to a lot of events, and you go back. If I go back to my prior company, which was RentGrow, uh,
Yeah.
prop tech, we we did about 80 conferences a year. And
Oh,
so we
wow.
did a lot of conferences. Most of them were institutional, but we did
Mm,
a lot of affordable housing conferences, which were kind of smaller events. You do the national stuff, the NMHC, the NAA, TAA, FAA,
yeah.
all these large state, regional, and state organizations, and they have a very they're great. They're bustling. There's a lot of activity, but there's something to it that it's kind of like there's a lot of people there just going along for the ride.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas you go to the affordable housing events, they'd be at a small hotel in Kentucky, and you go in there and there'd be maybe 30 booths there, and every single person there you got to know. So after
Uh,
5 years of doing that event, you knew everybody. You didn't know anybody on day one, and you get 5 years later, you know everybody. And it really
got it.
didn't. It wasn't like it took that long
Right. Right.
to make connections and things like that. But over time, you just became a regular at the event, and
Mhm.
they're real people. It's usually their money, and so
Mhm.
when it's your money, you tend to pay a little more attention to what's happening, like the bigger conferences. And again, they have their purpose. I'm not
Yeah.
disparaging them in any way, but the bigger conferences, you're dealing with a lot of large organizations, and it's people who don't have their own capital on the line,
Right.
and you're trying to explain a product that actually helps preserve capital or create more capital. And but your event, everybody there is putting their own capital and their own time on the line, and those are the best people to talk to because those problems are real and they're front and center.
Yeah, what I, as a first time person, being a recurring guest, a couple times a month, my hope is people recognized you, like, oh, I see you on the channel. They know what you do, and the other thing is, you probably heard a lot of great conversations. Just
Oh,
my community's
for
just
sure.
buzzing.
Yeah, and I had a lot of great conversations. People that I normally wouldn't have connected with.
Great.
Dion, for example, it was great to meet him. I had seen him at Bigger Pockets. I didn't get a chance to meet him there, but found him in his Dion space, and and he was very generous with his time and telling me all about what he does and how he
That's
does it,
awesome.
and it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, we're building something special. Year 3 finally felt like a family reunion. I think this is the first time it felt like that to me, and I can't wait for year 4. I'm already working on year 4. We moved the date to January so we don't have any more Valentine's conflicts, Super Bowl conflicts. So yeah, be ready for next January.
January, same venue or
Same venue. Yep, I already put the
great,
deposit down.
great,
Yep.
good venue, good time.
Yeah, Mike, where can they find you?
Rentometer.com. And if you're looking for the yield tracker, rentometer.com, Pro Tools yield tracker.
Awesome. Mike, you're amazing. Thanks again. Thanks for coming out. Peace.
Okay.